we didn't have a normal off season, but we had enough time to see what we had with him as a player, as a leader, as an athlete. I really liked what we had a chance to see. He was a tremendous leader for this team, and that's hard to do when you come in new in free agency your first year as a backup quarterback. So that'll be an important check mark for us. And a lot of times you want to hold your cards closer to the vest, and he is a free agent, but him along with Taysom Hill, who's in the building, we've said it all along. We're gonna develop and coach those guys, and Jameis is one of those guys that we have a big interest in.
Now, Coach, speaking of quarterbacks, you guys managed to go 8-1 over the past 2 years without Drew. You guys have bounced back from heartbreak after heartbreak. I've called you one of the greatest motivators in all of football. You know the X's and O's, but it's a whole different ballgame when you have to motivate what I like to call men with millions. How do you manage to do it? I know you have traditional tactics and non-traditional, but how do you keep these guys at such a high level of passion in the way they approach the game?
I really believe it starts with the culture that we try to build, and that's treating every one of them like men, being honest, caring about every one of them. We talk about it all the time. We're in meetings this week evaluating our roster, and so that takes place prior to even looking at any other player. And I think the open lines of communication, when we have our last team meeting at the end of the season, sometimes that can be a disappointing time, but you're covering a few items. Let's make sure we're able to stay in touch, reach each other in, 48 hours. If you've got a question, man, come up and knock on the door. We'll give you an honest answer.
No doubt.
And then I think there's an adaptation that, 06 seems like an eternity ago when I first got here, and things change. The players haven't changed, but how they learn and how they look at and study, that's changed, and we've got to adapt with that. So, over the years, creatively, we used to have just 3 film guys that film practice, and now we've got a specific department that does video production for meetings that are outside the box that we would never have thought of before. So I don't think you can put just the game plan on the screen and say, here we go. I think you got to have some thought with it. Might be a movie scene, any different and unique way to help with recall and attention to detail. And I think that is a starting point, but it is that culture, and we work on that daily.
And you guys also have fun in New Orleans, and whether it's wearing the school mascot uniforms or bringing in the mascots, over the years, you found a way to make football fun as well. You also love the quarterback position. Obviously, with Drew Brees all those years, you were pretty candid after the 2017 draft that you were a fan of Patrick Mahomes as well. He's a Chief, he's not a Saint, but can you give us some insight on what makes Patrick Mahomes so special as we look to the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Yeah, we spent a full day on that campus, and when you go in with the owners playing and it's the assistants and the head coach, there were just a few things. You see it all on film, and we send them the game plan the night before, study it. We're going to visit with you on it tomorrow in Lubbock. We came away from there like just blown away, impressed. I know I had made the comment that that's the best quarterback. That's the best college quarterback I've ever evaluated. And so then you're just trying to like stealth out of the airport with no one seeing you, not stopping at a coffee shop, not getting any picture taken. You're just on to the next school like we didn't even go there. And yeah, there were all the other checks, all the other things that you can't see on video. His personality is fantastic. He's one of those guys that's probably always hanging out in the gym when he was in high school. He comes from an athletic family. He's got a bright smile. It it was all there. And to see the success he's having, we were picking 11. Andy went to 10. And as soon as that trade took place, we knew that was for Mahomes. And we were staring at Lattimore and Mahomes. So those were two good scenarios. But he's fun to watch and certainly tough to defend.
Coach, we'd love to talk quarterbacks all day, but tell us what you have going on with Zebra Technologies and how they can help give teams an edge on Sundays.
Yeah, look, it's our league partner. So Zebras works with the NFL. They give you the next-gen stats. They're the ones giving you miles per hour. We spend a lot of time relative to our practice, and it's just the simple chips in each quarterback's shoulder pad. So, look, my coffee this morning that I bought at Starbucks, probably had a barcode that they swiped. That's Zebra, and so they've kind of jumped into the sporting world. They track players in a gridded area. So every football stadium this year, every playoff game, the Super Bowl will be basically wired with the players wearing chips in their shoulder pads, and that just gives, number one, it gives the production crew a unique perspective when they're talking about speed, acceleration. It can also give them information relative to field goals, ball spin rate. The chips are in the footballs. We're going to see more and more of it with officiating, I'm sure, as this technology grows. But it also allows us to know personnel on the field, and you can go up in a screen right away, just see the numbers on the field, because obviously each chip is attached to a player. But for me, initially, it was soft tissue injury reduction. When you might say, hey, let's back off the receivers that practice today, well, what does that really mean? And because I have a report that tells me on average they're between 5.5 and 6.5 miles per practice. So then I can actually look and see that it's down to 3 miles. Or, we've had receivers. Brandon Cooks was overtraining and was, he was 7.5, closer to 8. It gives you a more accurate measure of what you're doing and what your team is doing on the practice field.
Well, Coach, we cannot thank you enough for stopping by. I got to tell you, I hope Zebra Technologies gets the most out of you this year, because I don't want to see you here next year talking about Zebra Technologies, Coach.
Yeah, it'd be a lot better to be yelling at the Zebras than talking about them, right?
We'll talk to you
got bars.
later. Goodbye, Coach.